Hi, and welcome to Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse Skinner, and today I'm going to be continuing on with what I was doing yesterday, which is working on this JavaScript widget to render a coin for a new cryptocurrency called crypto.cred. So what I'm going to start doing right now is just cleaning this up and making it a little more polished, I guess. Not visually so much as the code underneath. So I'm going to go to where that is here. Open up Visual Studio Code, and so there's a few things I want to do. First, I want to put this in a Git repository. So I'm going to do git init. Ooh, permission denied. I'm trying to share this folder with my other user account, obviously called Jesse. Can I do this? No, I have to be right back. 1 second. There we go. So I just switched over so I could delete it. Git init. That worked. And git remote set URL. I think it is git. Ooh, how do you do this? Let me just double check another one. Yeah, I see. Okay. So if I switch over, I'm just gonna add this to. It's a private. It's not on my server, but it's a private Git repository. Set URL origin. That's what I'm missing. Missed a space. No such remote origin. Set URL. Is it add? Push? Do I have to make it? Anyway, that's not that important. I'll leave that till later. So what I mostly want to do right now is have a look at the JavaScript. So one thing I was thinking about is there's all this, I'm using this template, JavaScript template strings, but there's all this white space in here. And that's going to end up bundled in the JavaScript, and that's not really that great. So what I'd rather is that it was at least minimizable, and if I'm using like a build tool, it's going to treat this, it's going to leave all that white space in. And I don't have like I don't know of a build tool that's just going to strip that out automatically. I don't think. It's like kind of dangerous to do for a build tool because it doesn't know if I actually want that to be there. So what I could do differently is like concatenate all these strings together, like this, like put everything in single quotes. It can be backticks too, that's fine, but and then like use a plus sign, but that's sort of horrible too. So another option might be to use like a mustache template and like this in, but I don't really like that either. At least what I could do is unindent it, so 3 levels of indentation can come out. That's not too bad if I leave it like that. Then I could, well, yeah, it's kind of a trade-off, right? Because having the code right in line here is kind of nice, but well, you know what, that much white space isn't that big of a deal anymore. I could get rid of a little bit of it, like at least between these lines. This can be kind of on one line. It's kind of silly that, maybe it's silly that I'm doing this. I'll leave it like that. Alright, I'm not going to bother too much about that. At least getting rid of the indentation is going to help some. seems like we have a viewer, so welcome. Let's see what else I wanted to do here. I need to make some documentation to document these options. I think the code's kind of self-documenting. I hate that term really, but I think it'd be good if I at least made a README with a list of what the possible options are. So let me rename that to .md so I can use Markdown. And then I'll call it CryptoCred coin. I'll give that a number sign so it's a title. And then I'll just say JavaScript widget to handle rendering a coin. And then I'll just say takes the following. Let me make like a usage area, and then I can use backtick and show some code. So I'll say var coin equals new coin, or I'll say like, because ideally you'll be importing it, so I'll say like import coin from coin. I'm not sure what package. Like, I guess I've called it CryptoCred coin so far, but yeah, I guess I'll leave it like that for now. And then coin equals new coin, and then in my test folder I already have an example. So I'll basically just take it from there. Image, I'll put like a more obvious example image. Base, I guess I can comment. I can basically like document it with comments in the code example of usage. So base, you know what, base was for that background. Base was for, it's only used in one place, and that is as a root path. So that's kind of silly. I might as well make the whole texture URL dynamic. So texture image, we'll call it. Texture image. Then I don't need base. It'll be texture image. Texture image. And then maybe the other, well, the other image can be called image, I guess. It's like the circle image. Should I call it circle image? Circle image. I'm not convinced, but at least it'll be like the more clear I can make it, even if it's a bit verbose, the better, I think. Okay, so maybe I should finish working on it before I document it, because I think I'm going to change some of these things right now. So circle image. I'm going to paste what I was going to paste, which is texture image. Width, I'm still not sure if I want to call it width or just size, but let's go with width. And I was also thinking that instead of a second render step, you could optionally just pass a root or an element, or a root element, and then have it automatically render, so that the extra render step is more like kind of undocumented as an extra thing. The other thing I could do, the other way I could write this is that you don't pass in a root element at all, but that it returns you an element. Like it doesn't even, I think I do want this like constructor kind of object-oriented approach, because there might be actions you want to do. You might be like coin dot, I don't know, spin or something. So, well, thanks for following, Kyle Richmond. Yeah, so I think, and if you don't specify that, then it won't get appended. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like I could make like a method, coin.getRoot. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways I can do this. There's not really like the best way. So I'm just kind of like going over the different options in my head right now. Let's see if anything's running right now. I just made a bunch of stupid changes, so. Nope, it's broken. Figures. So if I go on console, base and image are required. Yeah, I'm changing the name of these things, so let's, and I don't render it too, that's a problem. Root element, I don't know, that's kind of overly verbose. And then I'm not even sure. Yeah, I think it makes, I think most APIs on the web are like, you pass in a root and then it does its thing. I could call it like render too. I don't know. Container? How about container? So on the other side, I'm gonna say this. Oh right, this is what's giving me the error. Base and image are required. I changed the name of both of them, so how about I make like, I'm gonna want to require 3 things. So validate, I'll make like a validate function, like a private one for this sake. Validate options key, and then if not key and options, then I'm gonna freak out, throw an error. Throw new error. Key is required. And then I can just, instead of this thing, I can do validate options. So I want circle image. I want texture image to be required. And just those 2. You know what? I had like 3 lines of code. Now I have 5 lines of code to save code. That seems stupid. I thought I had like more validation I had to do all of a sudden, but I don't. I just have the same 2. So if I'll just change them like that. Then I can error on both. Circle image and texture image are required. Alright. And then the other thing is like, if options.container, then this dot render options.container. So passing in container is going to be like a shortcut to rendering. And render will just do its normal thing. Let's see if that works. All right. Yeah, okay. So we're back to where we were. There we go. Seems fine. Yeah. The other thing is this, how to handle this dependency. So I want to deploy this as an NPM package. So right now, maybe things are changing like this week, but right now, generally, you can't use these ES6 imports. And in the browser, you can't use any import. You can't use CommonJS style. So what I kind of want to do is var circle type equals require circle type. But the thing is, it's like a catch-22, right? Because I want to be able to test this out in the browser using this simple way of including it. But at the same time, I'm not going to like actually use it this way. But I don't want to have the overhead of having like a build step just to test it out. So I think what I'll do is have a split it up. So I'll have my main coin.js, which gets exported and handles pulling in the dependencies. And then I'll have, this version will use like, here, let me show you. So I'll make a source folder. Excuse me, I'll put the current coin.js in there. Then I'll make like an index.js. And it'll do things. It'll be a single point of entry that will require in the JavaScript, the CSS, and the and the where is it? Circle type. So what that's gonna do is I'm gonna be able to, let's see. That's my son in the background. I'm gonna be able to link this in, and then I'm gonna link in coin from my source coin. I'll also include, I think this is the right thing to do, I'm not sure, coin CSS. See, the thing there is I'm like assuming Webpack, and I don't really know how to, I'm like playing too many games right now. If I'm like making this work in the browser, making it work in CommonJS generally, also making it work with Webpack, maybe I only care about the Webpack scenario, because it is a private repository. I know how it's going to get used. Mostly. I assume it's Webpack, but I don't know. 5 years from now, who knows, right? Design decisions, eh? So I think what I'll do is like this module. You know what? I'm going to leave the CSS out. I'm going to let the, what do you call it? The consumer of this access that. So in my main, in the project JSON, package JSON, I'll have the coin, not coin.js be the main, but I'll have index.js be the main. And then I'll have, I think you do source coin.css be a secondary, so that you can link this in yourself. I'm really not sure what I want to do here. I could have a build step, like I could build this out and distribute it, but this is going to get linked into sites that already have a build step, so it's kind of redundant. I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do right now is, so I'll leave it like this, I think. Expected string. Am I missing something? I don't think so. So I'm going to export the coin then. Okay. So that's pretty good. Now the other part of it that's annoying is that in here I want to export it, but only if we're in a situation, like only if we're on the server. So what I'm going to do is if type of module, type of exports is not undefined, or is object. I don't know what's better. Then I'm going to do exports. No, I need to do like module. If module is an object and type of module.exports is an object, then module.exports is going to be set to coin. Try that out. Okay, so the reason I'm doing all this is because I'm going to be working in now another Git repository, another NPM package basically. So I want to be able to pull this one in and then access it. Like I want it to just be an NPM module. So I'm kind of setting it up for that stuff now. Still work in the browser? No. Coin is not defined. Why wouldn't coin be defined? Class coin is not defined. That's so weird. Why would it even run this? Oh, I think I know, because I'm pulling in the index one. Yeah, I gotta fix my test. So my test actually has to go into source. That's what I wanted to do. No. Now it's a little broken. It's like, it's so weird when things are like a little broken. Let's see. Background's obviously working. That wasn't a question. My coin texture is... Oh, the CSS is missing. That's why. Right, so I need to go into source CSS. There. Okay. So, yeah, you can consume it this way. including these 3 things in, or you can consume it by including this in and the CSS. And yeah. You know what's tricky though? No, I kind of need, so the circle type thing, I'm not passing in here, like I just access it in here. So really, I need to require it in from here. But maybe I can do it. Here, I have an idea. I know how to make it work for both. I'll simply say if type of circle type is undefined, then I'll link it in. But here's another trick. You can't really do a var inside an if, because really what you're doing is this, and then by having done that, circle type is undefined. So I kind of want to like check for window on window.circleType. It's so frustrating to do this because it's like I gotta contrive it for this version just so I don't have to have a build step, but then everything I do is like assuming a build step. So I have to have like double version of everything. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. I could do like, I don't know. I don't have a good option. I don't have a good idea. If type of window is not undefined, then yeah, I could do it like that. So if type of window is not undefined and window.circleType is a thing, then that's the one I'm going to use. Otherwise that. And let me comment this because it's awkward. I'll say allowing usage from the browser or CommonJS. The rest is fine, I guess. So, does that work? Yeah, still works. And so I guess we'll just find out if it works server side. Yeah, I don't really need that var coin, but I guess I'll leave it in. So now my example's kind of working better. I'll drop it in the README. I'm gonna change the text, so I'll call it coin title as the example, and lower text would be. So one example would be like this: onCred 2. Color blue, sure. So I can I'll put in comments for each one that kind of explains. Default is gold. So I'll say optional. Default is gold. Text for upper and lower part of coin. Width of the coin, obviously. Required. Actually, these are optional, aren't they? So is the text. And width of a coin has a default, but I don't really want to tell people that, because I don't know what the default would be. I don't want to document it. I'd rather that people specify, users specify what the default would be, and yeah. Required URL of texture and circle images. So that coin texture, I'm going to want to export that too. I should include that in here as a, you know what, I can actually link it in. I can do it through the CSS. Maybe that's weird, but I think it might be a little bit easier, because with CSS you can do relative paths, and that's like, even a build process can handle that, where in JavaScript you can't do the same thing. So if I can turn that, I got so many files now. And is this even necessary anymore? That's kind of silly now. I don't need that index.js. I've managed to make my actual JS kind of what I wanted the index.js to be. So source coin.js, source coin CSS, and then if I can manage to get I could get rid of texture image, because it is a styling thing. I can rename circle image to just image. I think that's fine. And then this simplifies. Image is required. The more I can simplify this, the better, right? How sure am I can do that? I don't know. Because to do the texture, I can probably do it as a background, but not like here. I'm just doing it as an image. So what I could do is maybe like a span or div or something. Div. But an empty div is kind of overkill. Let's get it working with that, and then I might be able to get it working with something else. So CryptoCred coin texture, yep. You're gonna have a background. Let's give it a height of 100% too. Because of the background, I want the whole background to show. So the URL will be up a folder, images, and whatever it's called, I don't know. Coin texture. .svg. No repeat. 0, 0. No repeat. Does that work? No. I mean, it does, but it's too big. Why is it so big? Oh, I have to like scale it, right? So I think you do background, size, cover. Not quite right. Not quite right. It's a little too big, isn't it? Cover isn't the right one. Contain. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. It's still a bit off. It's still a bit wonky. And my circle image is missing. Okay, let's get the circle image back first. Image, image, image. Image, that's why. I'm pretty sure there wasn't this wasn't up here, like something's a little bit off. So let's see. Texture's there. Background's there. They're in the exact same spot, but I think my 0, 0, I'm not positioning it correctly. Let's do like top left. Same. The background. I'm just trying to figure out like why are these different? Because it like why is this as an image was fine when I was setting width to 100%, and now it's like exactly the same thing. Well, I'm not setting background size to the width. I gotta look that up. CSS background size. Background size. Let's go to MDN. What can you tell me? 100%? Is that gonna do something? The width of the image, 100%. Second value height. Okay, cool. So if I do background size 100%, that should be the same thing as like 100% width image, in theory. Let's try it. Am I wrong that this wasn't there a few minutes ago? I'm pretty sure it was, but let's undo this for a second. And see. And get rid of this for a second. And what else am I missing? The texture image. Which was like, I'll just type it in here. Images. If I don't have this under version control yet, or I could just roll back. Yeah, see, this is how it's supposed to be. There's no extra gray. They're both 500 by 500. But if I go back to this being a, oh no, wrong direction. No. No. It's fine. So if I go back to this image, then what do I need to do? I need to, oh yeah, put that back. It's just a little bit too high, or I don't know. It's like, it's weird because it's exactly the right width and everything. Like I just can't fathom how it's different, the one way or the other way. How about 100% auto? No. Is it affecting how the other things are rendering? Is that why? Not really. Nothing moves if I take it off or on. If I hide it. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's moving anything. No. It's just in the wrong spot. So let's tinker around here, see if I can see cover mix it that way, contain that way. What if I do like something stupid? 50% auto? So like clearly, oh, you know why? Maybe it's like, no, I just can't figure it out because an image would be top left oriented too, right? So how's this different? I could put in like, maybe it's, instead of top, I'll do like 5 pixels. 5 pixels 0. Is that a thing? Is that the right number to change? No, that's the wrong way. So if I do this 5. Yeah, but why? But why? I'm not going to do a change if I don't really get it, and it's probably going to mess things up. Should I put back that image? There's got to be... I don't know, I'm just so confused right now. What would be different about that? I'll go back to 0, 0 here. And so frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the other approach I was gonna do is that instead of giving this texture, I was gonna try doing something like after. So, how's that look? Horrible. It's gone. Where's my after? I don't know. I was gonna try to use like a pseudo element to put in place, but that's apparently not working either. It's so weird. It's like exactly the same size, exactly the same image, stretched to the same width, but too high up. So maybe in the, let me put in the image version of this too. Coin texture.scg. So in this version of it, if I take this out, I guess. So the new CSS I added. Oh, I see, because it was putting it there too. But you can see it's like adding the CSS to the image, the background, and it's still positioned wrong. So I'm wondering if the image needs something like display block to like make it different. but that doesn't seem to make a difference. Doesn't make any difference. It's mind-boggling. And what else here? I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like optimizing, but is it really worth spending all this time on it? I kind of think so, because I don't want the users of this all over the place to have to worry about coinTexture.svg, because it's going to limit me to be able, like, the only thing I'm going to be able to do, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be that then. So if we switch to some other way of rendering it, no, I don't want that to be part of the API, and I don't want the consumer of this to have to, like, care about that. It's okay that it's already, like, a hassle enough that they have to care about the CSS file. So I want to get this to work. I do. I just don't know why it doesn't. Is it simply too... Yeah. No, it's, like, low enough. It's, like, stretched, maybe? Yeah, I'm, like, setting height to 100%, but the image isn't height 100%. It's, like, a little bit less. So I think my width 100% auto. I need something else that's, like, don't stretch, please. Contain, maybe, but, like, contain... I don't know. Like, I thought contain would work on the first try, but it didn't. If I do background size contain. So it's like, it's still somehow stretching. I don't know. This, like, the actual background image goes all the way down to its edge. You know what I mean? There's, like, dark at the bottom there, but not here. So that tells me the background image is not stretching, and yet it's positioned too high. Should I do center and see if that fixes it? Yeah, it does fix it. Why does it fix it? I guess if you stretch... Was I stretching the image too? I don't know. Yeah, I was, but that caused that problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine now. I don't know what I did, but it's working. So, do I still want this thing? This empty texture element? Sure. That's not that bad. Let's not optimize too much right now. So it's working, and that means in here you don't need texture image, you just need image. URL of the image in the circle. Yeah. I think I'm pretty happy with the rest of it, so I'll say root element for the coin. Yeah. Should I mention that it's not actually required, but it is, because I'm not telling people that they can use the render function. So you know what also is using class here. I don't actually, it's kind of overkill. It's like neat, but it's really, I can just write this as a function called coin. And then render can just be like a private, because I actually don't want to expose it right now. It's better to not expose stuff no one's using, because then you don't have to maintain it, right? But it is like a at least it's like split up, so later, if as a need arises, I could expose that. So instead of this dot render, actually, like, what I could do is basically set up so coin dot prototype dot render, and then it is this dot render. So the class is doing the exact same thing. When you have a constructor that is, in essence, the class, and then the extra functions on the class get set on the prototype of that constructor function. Like, that's just how prototypical inheritance works. So I'll use that instead, and then I don't need to worry about class stuff. That's not going to change anything here. Nope. And I think it's a little simpler to read. This HTML template has to be in there because it accesses these functions. But I could I don't know. I'm going to leave it. I was going to say I could put it in an HTML file or something, but I'm not going to bother right now. So what else did I want to do here? Just finish the documentation, I think. And I think that's fine. I'm still not sure. I don't think I want to call it that. I think I'll just call it coin. I just want to search if there's a coin library already on NPM and what it is in case it's ever going to be relevant. The price board for what? I don't know. Doesn't seem important. So yeah, I'm going to call mine coin. And that, like, it really is a generic coin. In a sense, like, even though I have my, I can change that too. So I have this prefix, CryptoCred coin. I think I'll just call it coin. Coin upper, coin lower, coin image, coin texture, coin background, and coin. Let's call it coin container. And hopefully that's enough of a unique prefix that that's not going to run into conflict anywhere. So in here I'll do the same. This will actually become coin container, but then I'll strip out the crypto cred everywhere. And now it's a generic coin, so in theory it could get used for any number of coin renderings. I don't know. I just like to try to make things generic if I can, because you never know how usage will change. The one thing you can guarantee is things are going to change, so the more generic you can make things up front, the better, I think. And that said, it is pretty generic. I'm going to rename this to coin. And I'm going to... So now it's just exporting source and the JavaScript and the CSS. I still don't know why it's saying incorrect type. Oh, because main is supposed to be a single string. I gotta look that up. Package.json main. I'm pretty sure you can have more than one, but maybe it's not under the main parameter. Maybe there's only one main. Main. Module ID, that is the primary entry point to your program. But isn't there, like, I could have sworn there was some way to list more than one. Bin man directories, repository. It's not that. Scripts, URLs, paths? I don't know. Engine, CPU. Well, see, I don't like that because, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't want, again, I'm forcing someone to have to go into source coin CSS and link that in. But I kind of have to. Let's at least write it this way. And then I can say pull in CSS. Coin source coin.css. Pull in Java, pull in module. Let's see. And then at least someone reading this will be like, oh, I gotta do the CSS from here. And then they can do it whatever method they want. Coin. It's not CryptoCred coin. Coin, a JavaScript widget to handle rendering a coin. And yeah, that's fine. All right. Welcome, Wheels. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. I'm just doing some polish of what we did yesterday, and having a hard time trying to make some decisions here. But it's all in my head. Nobody else cares, I don't think. So I'm gonna stop optimizing this too much. I put JavaScript here so that something can. I think that's how you do. At least on GitHub. This isn't going on GitHub, but I think that'll work somewhere. Let's just verify it's still working. I didn't break anything. Ooh, I did break it. It's way too big. Text is gone. Everything's messed up. Why? Because why? Because I changed my class names. Did I not do that properly? Like something's way off. There must be an error. Root is null. Root. Oh, right. So when I look for the coin container, let's call it coin root. Only because I have this container option, and they're not the same thing. So I guess that's confusing. So coin root. I could just call it coin. But I feel like a 4-letter class name is too short, or too big of a chance it's going to run into some conflict somewhere else. So coin root. Hopefully no one uses that. Coin root here. Yep. Coin root. You know what else I could do? Instead of using inner HTML here, I could make, how would I do that? So var root equals document.createElement div root.class name is coin root. Then I don't need it in there, and what I can do instead is say root.innerHTML. Is that? Then I can actually drop that down and indent. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Put those actually up front. So what I'm doing here is creating a div, like making it the right size, populating it with HTML, then going and fixing the text, and then, in theory, element.append child root. Does that work? No. This element is null. This element. This dot element. Oh, you know where that's coming from? Yeah, circle type. And that's because it's not on the page when I run circle type, and circle type's like doesn't expect that. It's expecting that I'm working with something that's on the page, which is pretty reasonable. So what I can do is right before that. Oh, you know, it's probably that. I'm wrong. Maybe. But I'm doing this element.querySelector to find text up or text lower. But yeah, so maybe it doesn't need to be on the page. No, it doesn't throw an error, but that's what happens when it's not on the page yet. So if I just move that up. Yeah, we're back to where we were. Don't you love doing a ton of work and you're just exactly where you were when you started? So I'm going to run this through Prettier, which is I hit Control-Shift-I and it formatted it for me. Just put semicolons and little stuff. Still works, of course. my demo. I'm going to change the text of, because this is for my client, and I mean, they know, like, he watched yesterday, Jody Rich, my client, so hi if you're watching. But it's not that it's a secret, it's just I don't want to put thanks for watching in the official example for this. I will put something more reasonable, like my amazing coin, and on the bottom I'll do this, that's sort of the notation, that's the plan is for on the coin. And color blue, maybe I should have like two, let's render 2 coins. Can do it side by side, I think, if I do spans. Maybe. Coin 1, coin 2. Coin 1 will be my old one. Actually, let's make that coin 2. And then coin 1 can be a little more plain, or let's leave the defaults in, kind of thing. And yeah, it can be divs, but maybe they should be display inline block. I just want them side by side there. There. So that kind of makes it obvious, like, here's one way to do it, here's the other way. Yeah. So I think we're pretty good to start, to wrap this up, like to commit it, and then, and I think I'm okay with how circle type is being pulled in. But, I don't know. I could also do something weird like circle type equals circle type or require. Less code, but then I have like this glow. I don't know. Let's put it back to how I had it. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it. And so what I'm going to do is move on to some other stuff. So, oh, there was one thing I wanted to test, which is like just how well does it shrink down? And what's like the smallest I can render it at? Let's try that too. We'll make like coin 3 is super tiny. We'll make it simple, but let's give it text and stuff. Make it another color, green. My tiny coin. Width, let's go really like 20. Let's see if that's even anything. It's there. Let's go a little bit bigger. I can't see anything. Yeah, kinda. Like, I think it's working. It's just super small. It's in there. I don't get why. Oh, it's like in that coin too, because I'm doing a pen child. It's not, it's yeah, coin 3 there. There we go. My tiny coin. It's actually readable. It's pretty cool. Oh, so the font is wrong, obviously. Not that obvious, but I'm using Times New Roman. So I want it to be, I don't know what font. I do not know. But let's assume it's sans serif at least. I will guess Arial. Arial sans serif, let's say that. Font, family, Arial, Helvetica sans serif. Ooh, that's going to change it. Yeah, for the better, I think. Looks good. Maybe can go a little bit bigger with the text. I'll leave it for now. Looks fine on the tiny one. pretty crazy that like the same code can render both. I'm really happy with that. So what else is going on here? All right, so I have my Git folder there. I was like couldn't figure out how to set my Git path. Where was that? I don't know, maybe do that. I thought it was set URL. Add. They pay you to draw circles around cats. That's amazing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The cat was my idea. They are paying me to draw a circle. And yeah, it's still pretty amazing. Yeah, so what they actually gave me, so we're rolling out like I said, a new cryptocurrency. And it is going to be very visual, so these, this is sort of how it's supposed to look, right? So that's what I'm given, and yeah, we need to render it, and people can upload whatever picture they want. Actually, video too, which I have not tried to do yet, but not gonna do that right now. And so yeah, somebody's gotta turn this drawing into HTML and JavaScript, so that's me. I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna figure out how to do this properly, so 1 second. Okay, I'm back. The secret code that I was too dumb to remember. I was pretty close. It's not set URL, it's add. Get remote add origin. Ta-da! So now I can add all my assets here. Not node modules, that I don't want. So I'm gonna echo node modules to get ignore. Now if I do that again, my status should say get reset node modules. There. Is that AI file too big to include here? Let's look. I don't want to put like giant file in there. It's 6 megabytes. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it out because I didn't end up using it, and we don't really need it. Get reset, or I don't know, get add all. Where am I? So I got that screenshot. You know what, the screenshot's not really needed either. Let's do a couple things. I'm gonna get rid of the screenshot. I'm just wondering if I need it later, but bye-bye. I'm going to move example cat into the test folder, and I'm gonna get rid of the assets folder altogether. The gold background's now inline, so it's just like stuff that's actually needed. What an idea. So this can get a lot simpler, not a lot, but a little simpler, and I'm okay leaving the cat in there. That's fine. It's okay to be I don't know if I'm being funny, but it's okay to have silly things in there because no one's gonna see it. It's just for test purposes. And yeah, I think we're pretty good. So my README, the coin texture image, package stuff, CSS, JavaScript, and my test stuff. I'm good to go. Git commit. I'm gonna say first commit coin rendering widget. And I can push that. That. I don't know why that's not the default. I guess I can set it as my default, but don't know. Okay, so now I can go back to, or go over to this library. Actually, I'm gonna check this out in my other folder. So give me a sec. Git clone. Okay. So I'm gonna open that up. So this is a website that's built by my colleague Angela. Hello, Angela, if you're watching. And I'm going to add the coin to it, right, to make it run. So I have to do a couple things to get it running. Well, pulling silly. If I do npm run dev, is that gonna work? Nope. Yeah. Let me put word wrap. Why doesn't it work? Oh, I have to install. npm install. Yeah, give that a minute. And then we'll open it up in the browser and have a look at it. So it's got some, it's a React app. It's got a couple routes here. 3 routes for now. So there is a, we are rendering some coins already, but the way that she did it was kind of placeholders. So I'm going to go in and try to replace those placeholders with my actual coin and a cat picture. I think it's on port 8080. I'm not 100% sure there. Yeah, should have just guessed 8080. And then I know there's like a URL coin. So you can't see it, like there's not even a placeholder on this page, but the coin would go here. Cool, there's actually quite a lot done here. I'm impressed. So I want my coin to show up here. What are the other routes? Let me check them. Marketplace, collection, user ID. Let's try collection. Yeah, so here's where the placeholders are. So I can turn those 120, 120 placeholders on the collection page into, that's where I'm going to put my coins. And it makes me actually wonder if, one thing I didn't do with the coin is like force the height to be square. Or did I? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Anyway, forget it. So what I want to do is install my coin into this package. So my coin's package URL is like this one, but with coin instead of CryptoCred. So if I do git, or no, npm install, and I'll change it to coin, like so. And it says no. It says cannot install as it does not contain a package JSON file. Did I not push? I did push. Is my package JSON valid? I don't know. Oh yeah, of course it is, because I hadn't fixed that part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Commit that. Fix package JSON was invalid. And actually I need to tag, because I'm doing a git npm repository, it's in my best interest to tag it with 100. And that lets me have version control on it. Not version control, but like have a version. So this will be using version 1 of the coin, and you know, change things later, and I don't want to break this site. So what I'll do is git tag v1.0.0 and push the tag too. And now when I go back to CryptoCred, I should be able to do that. Actually do it at 1. I think means version 1. And nope. It says nope. As it does not contain a package JSON file. What if I just do that? Did I forget to push? Oh, I pushed the tags, but not maybe the file. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. Nope. Still not, eh? It says it does not contain a package JSON file, but it does. But it does. Oh, is there like, I think there might be like a different way I have to install this. Let me look that up. npm install from git repository. Let's see. Not GitHub. Not GitHub. Git host, git user repo name. Or git repo URL. That's what I'm doing, I thought. Git repo URL. Repo. Git remote URL. So protocol, I don't have a protocol. Is that why? It's supposed to be like git plus ssh : // Yes. Maybe. I think it's working. Cool. It did work. And golden. So what I'm going to do is switch back here. Now, I'm going to create a React component for a coin. I'm just realizing it could be in that coin repository. But I think it'll be, well, let's put it in here for now. And if it's something we want to reuse elsewhere, I can put it in the other repository. Coin.js. So I think I'm going to need this. I'm going to export default class coin extends component. It's going to render just a div with a ref, I think. This dot div, or no, I'll say like, so how the ref works is that once it mounts, it's going to call that once, I assume, to let me like set it up. So it'll be like div this dot setup div, or I could make it just a function. So setup. So setup now needs to be in the form of element, so container basically, and then no, you know what? I want access to the props, so I will put it in I will do it like this. So div, set up the div. And then set up div. We'll call new coin and do all that stuff. We can do this dot coin equals new coin. That's not useful. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do anything with this dot coin, but later maybe. So import coin from coin, and I'm also gonna import coin source coin CSS. And hope Webpack is set up to handle that. Yep, it is. So then I'm gonna pass in some props. So I need container, which is div. Should we just leave it like that? Well, I need to know the width. This dot props dot width, and so on. I think that makes sense. So like upper text, lower text. Need a comma. Lower text, not test. Color. And the way I wrote coin is that if these are empty, if they're undefined, that's fine. It'll fall back to the defaults anyway. I think that's the main things, right? Oh, image. Definitely image. And so this is going to bomb. Coin will throw an error if these things are wrong, like missing. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I want to see if what I just wrote does anything. So let's edit this collection and find these placeholders and put the thing in place. So my collection is probably this. Coins equals coins. Oh, I see. So it's already being rendered inside coins. That's cool. So this might be the only place I need to link in my coin. What I need to do is find where Angela's putting in that square. Coin overlay. No. Oh, I see. Placeholder. An image fluid inside something. Fluid. Oh, I see. Let me get some word wrap up here. So yeah, this will be different. There's a coin name. I'm realizing that she already has a spec around what a coin is, so I might just want to pass a coin into coin. Coin. But, and have it pull the information out. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe I just want to import coin from coin. And then what happens? So if I do, I can still use that placeholder actually, that's cool. So what I can do is coin image equals that placeholder. I don't know if I need image fluid. I don't know. So image is that placeholder. Alt will become upper text. Lower text will be, I don't know, coin dot value, I guess. So you see that down there. Color, let's let it default gold. So are we good? Broken, no. Duplicate declaration coin. Coin, yeah. Coin. Well, my widget I can, like the class that I'm importing, I can call it CredCoin. Doesn't matter what that's called. It also doesn't matter what my component name is, but I do want to use coin, so I'd rather mangle the third party, my import thing, than mangle this. I thought it was like a heart for a second. I didn't know what's going on there. Oh, Christian N, thanks for following. Yeah, looks neat, but wrong. So, I don't know, but I think that I need to set the size to 120, I suppose. So, let's put that in here. It already refreshed. And I'm not liking how the text is all messed up. That's not cool. That's not great. Oh, I'm seeing why. Is the text... No, I'm not seeing why. Forget it. I thought it's the circle text is doing something. I thought it was something else. Coin root is there, and then, but all the stuff is like pushed over. So I think it's some formatting in here. Inline block, relative, font size, border box, text align, center important. Sort of. Do I need to like that box is right. This box is wrong. So why is that over there? Oh, I don't like set my left and right. Ooh. Gotta do that to all the things. Now we're getting into messy waters because my circle is positioned 18% of what over? That's not 18%, it's like 50%. What is affecting this? So if I put left 0, it's right. Oh, you know why? It's like a left, like center alignment now. Do I need to put like display block on this? It kind of helps, but in a weird way. Then margin top has like a whole new meaning. Ooh, so don't do that. I could put on my coin root. I guess I could use like center alignment, but no, I don't want that circle center aligned. It's actually it's important that it's positioned carefully. So I can do like text align left. That's enough to fix it. Is that enough to fix it even when I take these off? Yeah, that's good enough. Is it enough to fix it if I refresh? If I put it on here? Like the parent? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. But I feel like I should put it into the coin library itself to protect against outside forces. So coin root text align left. Yeah. But the text is still really messed up, so that's not good. Why is all that text messed up? You know what? I think it's... Remember when we were debugging on the coin itself, this was happening, and it was because the coin wasn't attached to the page yet. So I think that's what's happening here. So in my setup, that's going to be kind of wrong. I'm going to just do this dot container equals div. So I'm just setting a reference. Like, I guess that's what the pointer ref is. I'm setting a reference to my root. And then what this will be is component did mount. I'll get rid of div. I'll make a reference to this dot container. And that'll fix it. It does, except for that thing. So let's switch back to the coin thing. I'm just going to put in text align left. And commit it. Let's get 3 little terminals in this tiny window going. So I'm not going to bump the version much. I'll do a minor. Fix add left alignment on root. I think I can do npm version major minor. What's the third one? Major minor insignificant. Oh, so tiny. Major minor patch. So if I do npm version patch and dash, I think, did that do a git tag? Yeah, it did. So if I do git push tags, then I should be able to do like an npm install coin at version 1.01. Is it going to install my coin or the npm coin? I think it should install mine because it knows about it now. But I don't know. I don't know. No. It's probably trying to install the public one. Yeah, it doesn't know. So let's do this at version 1.01. No. When I did npm, yeah, it incremented that. Everything's fine. What if I just install it? Oh, with what am I be without the v? No. What are you doing? Let's zoom in here. Bad line length. This has happened to me, but it usually means whenever I see this error, it's like it never gets fixed. It has something to do with how I'm using Git. So what if I just use that? It's gonna just install it again. Is it gonna be the fixed version? Yes, it is. That's great. I don't know about how it looks though, you know. Is that texture showing up? Could not load the image, no. Yeah, I didn't think so. Why can't it load the image? It is pulling in, I can see it right here, it's pulling in coin texture, SVG. And then it's like, well, that reminds me of another optimization I wanted to do, which was an SVG crush. Do I have that installed? Something like that. Oh, Kong. Let me try to pronounce it first on the right try. Right on the first try. Kong Senai Kong has followed. Thank you so much for following. Did I get it right? Or is it Kong's and I Kong? Would be easier to do npm link than to push to GitHub and reinstall. Yes, I'm not pushing to GitHub, but yeah, then pushing to Git. The problem is during development that's good, but I'm working with another developer, Angela. So I think if I do npm link, it's correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's tied to my file system, like how the folders are attached. And if I commit that, like as a dependency, she's not going to be able to access the coin. So that's why I'm like, it's a private Git repository for the company. I'm pushing to that, and then we're able to pull from that. When we deploy, it is also able to pull from that. So I think you're right about saving time developing, especially since I'm like incrementing on both sides of it. Or is there a way to say like, oh, I'm going to be using a local version of this temporarily? I don't know. It's a good idea. npm link. Maybe I'm just making assumptions. So it says a symlink. So does that mean I can have like officially it comes from a Git repository, but symlink wise, like locally it uses the symlink? I don't know. Let's try it. npm link, and then I think I can just do coin. And what did that do to my package JSON? Anything? Coin is still pointing here, which is good. But now when I do npm install, like if I blow out the node modules directory, let's say, let me just blow out the coin one I realized. Yeah, if you're working alone, link is definitely superior for sure. And maybe like I think it might be still usable even though I'm collaborating. Let's try. If I install, I don't know how I'm going to be able to tell the difference, but let's see what it did. Does it give me any clues? No. What's in the node modules coin? Stuff. You know what, let's try it again. I'm very interested to know if this will work, so I'm just going to put some... What? Where did you go? What? It destroyed my folder. Oh no. Why? I have no idea why. Okay, let's clone it again. I don't have it like actually set up in here. Let's take the URL from here, minus the protocol. I don't know why npm link emptied a folder. Is it supposed to do that? Is it like, here's a cool way to empty a folder quick? No, I don't think it's supposed to do that. Oh, could it be that when I did this, it actually wiped out the contents because it was a symlink? Oh, that might be why. This is way too tiny. Let's zoom in. Where's coin? There's too much stuff. Too many dependencies. Grab coin. No, it's missing. I don't know. Whatever. Something for another day, I think. Yeah, thanks all you guys for watching. I'm really excited that to be back. Yeah, I think it's pretty special that I'm being allowed to stream my freelance work. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and you guys are helpful too. I like that. I'm still tripping out about this missing SVG background. Not this one, the texture. So Webpack is definitely pulling in the SVG. It even, excuse me, is renaming it to this like hash, but something's wrong about that. Copy URL. Like where, I don't even know. Okay, so it's not working because it thinks it's in that like subfolder of the router. So I think I could do like a base tag where I set, like that would be like a cheap fix, but I don't think that's necessary. Webpack dev server root path for assets. This is not gonna get me. So what I want to say is like root webpack dev server SVG not loading in subfolder. Relative public path? Yeah. SVG is not being loaded when using webpack dev server. And I think add option to fix relative URLs. An absolute URL for public path. Yeah, I can do that. So in my package JSON, in my webpack config here, public path. Or no, I guess it is in the package JSON. I think you can do -- public path is the localhost 8080 /. Maybe I just can do /. No, that's not the right one. Is that gone now? Oh no. Why is that gone? Requires not defined. This .render is not a function. No, what happened? What happened to my coin? We'll never know. Visual Studio Code's freaking out now too. This I've never seen. Just a blank. Just blank. Let me restart Webpack. It doesn't like my new parameter. It says nope. I thought there was public path or something. Output path. What's grep for path? See the path related. Oh no, grep didn't work because it's on standard error. There was, I think it was about to tell me how to do it in this. Fix URLs. How to deal with relative public path. Yeah. It's this, I guess it is output public path. Maybe this, yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking about. That worked though, okay. Does it fix our problems? Yes, it does. Sweet. So, it looks okay, I guess. I feel like it doesn't. Like, I think the text might be a bit big now. I'm not sure. I feel like the image might be a bit big. You know? Because we were working on it pretty large. But I think... And it looked okay, tiny. Oh, I'm so frustrated that it's missing now. What is going on? Where is my coin? Stuff's all there. Isn't it? Isn't it? what you're doing. You are just useless right now. Open folder. Coin. It's just losing its mind. I'm gonna restart code there. Yeah, there we go. So when I pull in coin, it's this one. Type of window, blah blah blah. Oh, because I have to install node modules. That's all. But yeah, so when I was doing this, I mean, the small one looks pretty good. I'm not sure why I feel differently about this one. Maybe because the font is different, or like something's affecting it. I don't know. It's not that bad. I mean, it's working. I should be happy that our coin is now in the grid. It's neat. Yeah. Let's tinker with the font size here. Now would probably be a good time to do that tweak stuff. So 9 pixels, 8 pixels, 7, 6, 5, 4. You know what? Font size here is not affecting it, and so that's my problem. Is that I'm setting the font size on the root, and I'm gonna guess that something is like, nope, you are gonna have a different font size. Yeah, there's this like div font size 13 somewhere. So I need to be more, oh no. Even if I set it there, it's gonna get reset there to 13. Well, okay, I know what I can do. I can like, no, I don't know what I can do. I can set the spans. No, because the div here is using EM. So I need the font size to be set on this specifically. Does the circle text have something about font size? Maybe. Nope. Does... it's not like... I mean, having div font size 13 doesn't seem like a bad thing to do, but now maybe I should just change that so it doesn't do this. Maybe, I'm assuming when Angela set this up, it was just some basic styling to get it going, and now that's problematic. So let's change it. Coin.css, index.css. This is so normal though, like to do this. It's kind of like my library is pretty flaky that it can't handle that. Maybe I'd be better off using spans or something. No, but the circle text is going to use a div too. Because like what I could do, it's kind of tricky. I kind of don't want this to be there. Maybe I can take div out of there. Or maybe I can move this into here. I think that'll work, but this looks like, it looks like it's based on Bootstrap. And we might be using Bootstrap, so I don't want to break it too much. Yeah, but look, it's tiny. I don't know if it's good, but it's tiny. So it's not so crowded. It seems a bit crowded on the top edge there. Seems like it seems like the text should come down slightly, but I don't know. Do I really want that to come down much? Looks so nice when it's big. Could do that. I could make the text a bit bigger altogether. So instead of add a class to the well, like so I have classes. Let me show you why it's a challenge. Because I'm not setting the font size. I'm setting the font size in here. So I kind of want to set it. I can set it. Yeah, I can write some code and set it to a lot of different places. I can't. It's kind of an awkward approach for me to create a dynamic class and do it through classes because I'm taking this approach. Because the width gets passed in, and we do some calculating to try to find a good size width, good size font. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with my not styling div straight up because I don't know. Because the alternative seems more complicated. I think it's just easier to not specify a default font size for div. And so that, because you can imagine, like, if you have a lot of nested divs in a modal or something, you might want to set the font size on an area of it and not every time you have a div have it get reset to 13 pixels. But that said, I am interested if making this a bit bigger is a good idea. So let's try 36. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Tiny coin looks readable. Not too crowded. Let's try that. So, git commit, new, trying larger font size. I'll do an npm version patch. And I will push and push tags. Here I will npm update. Is that a thing? Probably. Coin? Yeah, I got my 1.02. Oh, and Popper.js updated in the same time frame. Useful. So I have no idea what Popper is, but a subdependency of a dependency of a dependency or something probably. Let's check this place out. It didn't change. Why not? Why not? Is it because Webpack needs to be restarted? No. Is it because 36 divided by like 400 or whatever didn't make it still 9? Probably. It did go up to 10.8. Is this now working? Yeah, that is now where it comes from. I feel like we could go bigger, but I don't necessarily. I only want to go bigger on the small coin. Probably. Let's try a bit bigger. Let's try 50. That's a lot bigger. Too big. 40. Too big. Let me make this math a little. So 40 times width divided by 400 is silly. That's like width divided by 10. So if I can make this calculation something nice like that. That's not bad if I move these a bit. So a little bit up, a little bit down, I think. Yeah, let's do it in here, and then I'll adapt it. So a little bit, so let's say 4% top. I'm just thinking maybe the radius needs to be slightly bigger because it's coming in a bit tight. So the radius is set here, 175 divided by 4. So what if we did that as like this dot width divided by 2? Maybe I'm aiming at like cute numbers too much. Yeah, it's stupid. 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.3 looks good. And I want it moved up. Top of upper. Did I change it already? 4. There, looks pretty good. Yeah, it's coming in a little sharp. That's better now. And the bottom should have the same radius. Divided by 2.2 probably is a better multiplication number. 1 divided by 2.2 is not better. 4 or 5, 4 or 5, 4 or 5. Bottom. So if I went down there, I want to go down there probably too. 1%. Looks pretty cool. I can test it out like a little bit more by putting longer text in. Slightly longer text. That's pretty good. Like the spacing between the letters and the circle is pretty consistent. I think on smaller coins it'll be even less obvious. So let's commit this. New fix, make text a bit bigger. Bigger. npm version patch. Git push tags. npm update. Can I just do update coin? Or is it going to be like, you don't have that coin library installed? No, that's good enough. Okay, let's try it out. Is it good? Did it change? Don't know. Yeah, now it changed. Big sigh because I still don't like how it looks. Because, let me zoom in. The shadow of the text is like right up on the shadow of the coin. I'm wondering if it's like, is that happening here? On that little one? Yeah, I guess it is, eh? I'm really I'm trying to strike a balance here. I don't want to... I need it to be big enough to be readable, but not too big either. Let me just try it. I don't know. There's not like a perfect answer to this. I just moved it up too, right? That looks better. That looks okay. Oh, you know what it probably is that the text shadow is like proportionally bigger than, because on a big one it's 1 pixel, right? So on a huge coin you get 1 pixel shadow. On a tiny coin you get also 1 pixel shadow, and that makes it look like a huger shadow. Can you go sub-pixel with shadow? I don't know. I think 1 pixel is probably the most I want to do there. Can you do subs? that might be a solution. 1 pixel. Let's see if it fixes it on this one. If it makes me happy. So the text shadow is coming from here. So if it's like 0, 5, 0, 5. How do you, there? Yeah, it is like having an effect. So yeah, you know what, that probably is gonna make a difference. Let me refresh, start with a big base, and then tone down. Like if I take that off altogether, it's still a tad high, I guess. Oh, I think I figured out what's happening. So I'm scaling this, but when you get tiny, what I want to say is like the inside circle is, there's like this trim, and on the big one you're not really near the trim, but as you shrink, the trim obviously shrinks too, but the font seems to shrink slower or something, so it ends up touching the trim. I don't know. I think I'm onto something with that subpixel text shadowing. I think I need to scale the text shadowing just like I scale the font. So that's like kind of crazy, but what I need to do then is set the text shadow. I should be able to set the text shadow on the parent, like I'm doing the font size. And that doesn't matter. So yeah, I want to know what the text shadow, like, it's short form for obviously longer properties usually. So I should be able to like just set text shadow left, text shadow right, or whatever they are. Is it true? Or is it just text shadow? I'm not finding any subproperties. So it's not like a short form. You have to do it, the whole thing. That's fine. I will do it. That reminds me that I actually have details specifically. I'm going to pull them up off screen, but just because it's easier for me to do that. Details on exactly what the offset's supposed to look like. The drop shadow. So the drop shadow is set, so 75% opacity. I have it at 0.5. Offset is, X offset's -1, Y offset is +1, and blur is 2. How's that look? Like before I do any other stuff with a normal size. Yeah, still looks good, you know. No big difference there. But I think I want it quite more. I want more text shadow when it's this size and less when it's that size. So I'm not really sure what my scaling is going to be there, but similar to how I did the other scaling, I'll just like try some number and see if that's it. Root style text shadow equals for like 3 numbers have to scale. So negative, that's kind of gross. Maybe I want to put that in a function so I can build it. Get text shadow of this width. And then down here I can make that function. Get text shadow width. I don't know why my fingers want to type widget. And so it's going to be return left plus pixel top, like let's do XY. x plus pixel plus y plus pixel plus what do you call it, blur, plus pixel plus, well then the rest can just go in here, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, and 5. And now I just need to define these three variables. So x is negative, y is positive. So let's do y first. Y will be the width divided by like 400. X will be minus y, and blur will be y times 2. Let's see what this is doing. Let's try let's try something crazy so it's obvious if it's working. Yeah, that's too crazy. 5. Yeah, so it's working. Width times 400. I might want to go smaller. Width times 200. So that means when it's 200, it's a 1 pixel shadow. When it's, 400, it's like double, and so on. I think that looks decent. I think it's kind of okay. I kind of want text on the gold one, because the gold, I have a gold standard here. Let's put the same text over here. Even though I wanted to show off defaults. That's not what I'm doing right now. Yeah, okay, so it looks okay here. Maybe it's a bit too much shadow for that size. Let's go 300. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. And, oh, there's one other thing. I think text is supposed to have some opacity to it. So, you know what? You can set a background color. Why can't you set a text color? Premature optimization. Let's just keep the text color white for now. No. You know what? Someone's going to want to set that color. So, let's make background color, foreground color. Text color, I mean. Why? Better to do this kind of thing now than later. Then here I can do like root.style.color equals this dot text color. And it'll default to white. I need to document that here, I guess. At least changing this to background color. Technically, I should like make a new major release for this, but no, I won't bother. Because I'm pretty sure no one's using it yet. Like 100%. Oh yeah, but so I want to give it a slight opacity, so that's what I'll do here. RGBA 255, 255, 255, 0.8. And what that's gonna do is like break it. Oh, because my background color is now this background color. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, see, it gets a little bit of the blue here. It gets a little bit of the gold color here. A little bit. Looks kind of gray, weirdly. What if my opacity... I just want to test if opacity is way down. Does it look right? No. Oh, I see what's happening. It's like if you drop down the opacity, you're getting the shadow. So the shadow needs just as much opacity. I don't know, more. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it like this. 'Cause I don't know how to make the text transparent but not pick up any of the text shadow. I'm not sure that's an option. I'd be better off like mixing the color programmatically, like try to calculate what that should be. I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I think we're pretty good now. I'm gonna try committing it for like 100th time here. So fix is scale text shadow, add opacity. Then I'll do a patch. I could go minor. Yeah, let's do minor. To hint that you shouldn't use that one at all. And let's push that up. I should be on 0, like version 0, because then you can, I'm trying to maintain semantic versioning, and you're not supposed to change, like, the major, minor, and patch numbers have to change only when certain things change. Like, if you change the API of a library, the major should change. Here I changed the API of the library and only bumped minor, but it's better than just patch, I think. But, because I don't want to be on version 2, like, 20 minutes after I made the library, you know? If you're on version 0, you don't have to worry about this. You can just do 0.1, 0.2, whatever. Because, in semantic versioning, if it's 0 dot something, then no rules apply. Yeah, let's update it. Update coin. And pray that I'm happy with how this looks after that. Ew. I am not happy with how this looks. This looks really bad. I don't know what happened. It's like, maybe it's that opacity on the text now is like, when it's small, see, it's like the C gets really dark, and then, you know, it's wonky. Maybe I'm better off with just white text, straight up white. I can specify it now that it's an option, so I can play around with it without updating the library. I can say this will be text color, but then I'll make like a background color too. And then when I drop it in place, I'll say, I'm just going to try this here, if it makes it look better. No, not really. It's like maybe it's that subpixel text shadow, like sounds like a good idea, but when Firefox goes to render it, there's not, like, obviously my screen doesn't have subpixels. So it just, like, it's like anti-aliasing. It's like, sometimes it picks the dark color, and sometimes it doesn't, and that makes it frustrating, isn't it? It still seems like too high. And now I'm starting to wonder if it's like something specific to this page, different from, like, if there's other CSS interfering, maybe. But I have no way to verify that. This is top 4%, 4% of the root. I think it's okay, like, how many times do I have to change this before I'm going to be happy with it? I just feel like it's not, like, when I see it on here and it's small, it looks fine. Maybe I need to make that one gold, and then, like, it'll look horrible. Yeah, you know what? Green seems to, like, hide some of that. I think because green's, like, darker, so it's like, you know, the shadow isn't really that prominent. So maybe I need to make the shadow more transparent so that it has less of an issue there. Or I could even be like, oh, it's smaller than this. No shadow. I could do that. So we're at 0.4, 0.4, 0.8. What if blur is permanently 1? That does not fix it. What if these are -1 plus 1? Does that fix it? No. If I take the text shadow off, that's not great either. Needs to be something. So what if I decrease the opacity to half there? You know, that looks better, especially on the small size. Is the 0.4 okay if I'm doing that? Yeah, I think so. Kind of want to just undo quickly back and forth, but I can't. I think now I'm thinking like 1 is fine. What I had originally. I think this looks okay. I'm happy with this. So let's just make it that. I might just ditch. I think I like that it's this, but I think what I might do is like put a lower. I'm not gonna go sub-pixel here. I might go rounding. Like, I don't know, what would happen if I go down to 0? 0, 0. 0? That's nothing. That's not good. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to like put a a floor. So like you can't go lower than 1. So then text shadow will be bigger on bigger ones, but it won't go into the sub-pixel stuff. And then it'll, is that what I want? Let me just check again. -1, 1, 2. Yeah, so how you guys doing out there? Let me know what you're working on too. I'd be interested to know. Alright. It's fine with 1. Is 0.4 fine? Or was that horrible? I just can't remember. I keep changing it and I don't know. No, I don't like that because it seems when you get sub-pixel, it's going to get uneven. So I'm going to leave it like that. And even though that doesn't fix our problem, I think this will fix our problem, which is reducing opacity on the blur, on the shadow. Yeah, it looks fine. Looks fine. Let's try a gold down here. It's hard to read, but it's okay. If that makes sense. It's hard to read, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like a tiny coin where the text is hard to read because it's a tiny coin. And I think that's acceptable. Until I'm told otherwise. Yeah, we might want to like... Once people see this and stuff, they might be like, oh, that's stupid. Make it black. And then we can do that. We can just go, sure. Or whatever, like... Maybe that. Or maybe that. Or I don't know. I don't know what it'll end up being. But it's also CSS too, so that's a way to customize it. You can just specify your own CSS wherever. I think I'm ready to do another patch update here. Tweaking. Wait, did I already do a version that was about scale text shadow? Yeah. So I'll just say fix tweaking text shadow to look good on small coins. Do an npm version patch, and I'm at version 111. Hopefully we can keep it at that, because I don't know. Cool. Git push tags. And npm update coin, and then fingers crossed I'm not gonna change this again. Please. Please be what I like. It's okay. It's not too bad. I'm gonna tolerate it at this point. Because I don't know how many more times I can change that, but it's still, I'm still not a huge fan. Here, let me zoom in. You can see what I'm seeing a bit better, maybe. I don't like how the I don't like how the W of wonder is overlapping the dark line. That's all I have to say. But I like how the 10 looks. And I'm happy with the shadow, although it's a little big. But it's better than no shadow, I think. And I don't know what to say here. I don't want to tinker with it like 100 more times. It seems like every time I do, it's never gets there. Why does this one look fine? There might be some CSS that's like interfering. That's the only thing I can think of. Because look, this one looks fine. That one looks great. It's perfect. So it's gotta be some different CSS on that other, on here. There's gotta be something different about it. Different font, I don't know. Let's see. What's it inheriting? Well, those are inheriting from this, the coin root, I think. Yeah, so 12 and the text shadow and stuff. But what is affecting it otherwise? Transform origin? What? Oh no, that's the rotating thing. That's not like outside CSS, that's inside. Text align center? Nope. Line height? Totally line height. No wonder. Oh, hi, tryhard, please. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining the stream. How's your day going? I'm just pulling my hair out, but I just figured out what is driving me crazy. This tiny text on this coin wasn't where I wanted it to be. It turns out it's because of this line height. What is the default line height that I'm doing over here? Because whatever it is, I'm going to like force it to be that. I can look in computed here. Try to find it there. Box model. What? Back in my day, computed had, well, browser styles, there we go. Line height. Line height. Oh, it's 45.75. No. What does that mean? Line height's 45.75 at the same time as font size being 40. So it's like, oh, thanks for following. Try hard, please. Appreciate it. What is going on? I think the default font size, like line height, is probably a numeric one. So I don't want computed. I want to know how. I just want it to be whatever the browser's one is. And the browser's one is like, at least Firefox's one. It must be a number that somehow turns 45 into, 40 into 45.75. 45.75 divided by 40 is this horrible number. Yeah, looks about right. So if I force line height to be that on my root, it shouldn't change. And it doesn't. I'm gonna add that and commit it. We're gonna be up to 112. How's that sound? 112. So in my CSS, I'm gonna add line height this. Don't ask, because I don't know. That's just the number that it is. You know what? I'm suddenly excited though, because I just realized now when I commit this thing is gonna be not too bad. Should I try out that number first? Let's try it out. Let's try it out for real on that one coin. Line height this. Whoop. See it move? It moves to where I want it to be. Let's look at it. It is perfect. Look at that. It's like a real coin, isn't it? Like a real pixel coin. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so let's commit it. Is this web dev? Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm working on, so this is a new cryptocurrency that'll be coming out called CryptoCred, based on the Ethereum blockchain. The idea is that you will be able to create your own coins, upload pictures, and they'll be represented by this like digital coin. So you can give it to your friends, stuff like that. So the part I'm working on right now is like rendering a coin. So taking a picture, taking the text for the name of it, and then drawing a coin. So here it's kind of small, but I want to be able to render it larger too, like these. So yesterday I worked on most of this. Today I'm kind of polishing it and bringing it into this website. Very rough website right now. Just started, yes. Like my colleague Angela just built this out on Tuesday. So yeah. So I'm just trying to, I'm pretty happy with how that is. So let's get that committed up. Fix, specify, am I using a JavaScript front? On this website, we're using React, if that's what you mean. On my coin library, it's just, I'll call it vanilla JavaScript. I'm using one library to do the circle text. I was contemplating doing that myself, but looking at their library is like, I don't want to get into too much trigonometry right now. So, yeah. But no framework on the coin itself, and then just React. I wouldn't necessarily call React a framework, but that's what we're using, yeah. Have you used React? Let me know. So, specify line height. Oh, I want to do npm version patch. And we're up to 112 within mere minutes of creating the package. Just one coin. Let us cross our fingers collectively. And I think that's it. Yeah. So if we zoom in here, I'm going to tolerate that. It is technically still touching up against that edge, but how many more times do I have to go over this? Yeah, it's fine. No, I'm just moving from C, C++ to web dev, full stack. Already had a decent idea of plain JS, but do not know what to do really. Oh, in terms of like frameworks and that, I'd say React is a... I'm hesitating just as I was about to say it. React is better, I think, than some of the, like Angular. So React isn't a framework. It's just more like a templating engine. It's just, like this is React. So React is very weird because you have HTML in your JavaScript. So it's not actually JavaScript, it's called JSX, which is like JavaScript and XML. So you have to run it through a build tool to turn it into actual plain JavaScript. That part is kind of a headache. If you're just getting started with it, there's a library out there, or a command line tool out there called Create React App. I would definitely try that for your first time using React, because it'll set up that like back-end stuff for you, so you can just dig into playing with React. If you're new to web development in general, though, I would try React out, but I'd also do some stuff outside of any framework, just plain JS stuff. There's still a place for it. Like, if you can get away with just doing plain JS for your website, do it for sure. React is like, if you get into a lot of templating, like a lot of client-side rendering, React is a nice way of, it's a nice templating system because it's still in JavaScript. You can I don't know, like do more calculations. Like, it's still just functions. It's, even though this is like magic HTML in your JavaScript, it gets turned into plain JavaScript. So you could actually write this. I think you go like react.create element div or something, and then like class name row. You do it something like that, and then you'd have like children, and then that's how you would, then this goes in there. Like, it's kind of awkward to write it, but you can. So yeah, try it out and play around. Like, React is only a couple years old. It's come to dominate the modern framework space, even though it's not a framework. But, you know, 2 years from now, who knows? Who knows what we'll be using? There's lit HTML is actually, it looks really cool. Lit HTML. Maybe that'd be a good one to get started with. So Google wrote that, and it's sort of like React, but even more simple. So you do like, it's still like templating. So, but you do it in template strings, and then it's able to like, it's sort of the same in a way, like, because you can pass in new variables and it'll put them in place. Yeah, I've been told the same, knowing well plain JS should give me no problems in the future if I wanted to learn a framework like React, Angular, etc. Haven't decided what to learn from the backend though, since I've got good feedback from both Ruby and Node. I guess it depends on what do you want to use it for. Absolutely. And that, I know that feeling, like, you don't necessarily have something to do, so you're like, what do I want to learn? And then you're coming up with like your own projects or whatever to work on, and there's like too much flexibility, and then you just like shop around frameworks and all this stuff. I know that feeling. It's a lot easier when you have a client that's like, here, do it, and we're all Angular, do it in Angular. Even if you don't like Angular, you're doing it. That's somehow that's like easier in a way to not have to decide, to not have to shop around. I tend to like, I know there's like things in the back of my mind that I want to use maybe one day, and I'll tinker around, maybe make a video of it or whatever, and then like when a new project starts, I might be like, oh, that's what we're going to use here. So I would just, I'd say variety. Like, because you're starting out, variety is probably your best thing to do. And because you can experiment, and I assume you're just playing around, not working on any client stuff. Or maybe even if you are working on client stuff, you can experiment a little bit in terms of what libraries you choose to use. And then every project you start will get closer to something you're more comfortable with. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I just want to learn properly plain.js, but do not know what exercise project, etc. to do, since I do not know to which extent can JS go. Totally. I generally would say JavaScript can do anything in a browser and outside of a browser. Actually, JavaScript, like between Node.js and the browser, could probably just do anything with it. That doesn't help you at all, does it? That just opens up the doors more. I don't know if you're into gaming. You can try making a game, a web game. You could do a server-side leaderboard, something. You could, obviously websites are a good thing. You could, if you want to make a site for your company, or, I don't know, your friends' blog you want to set up for them or stuff like that. Try to find those like little actually practical, like someone will get value out of it things, and try to use those as like to push you, because I find like otherwise if it's too wide open, you'll just be like it'd be too much experimenting, not enough practicality. You kind of, it's helpful to push through some of that, like actually getting something done for someone, because at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at this website, you have no idea what it's written in, and it honestly doesn't matter. It's more about how it interacts and stuff. I think we spend a lot of time picking libraries that we don't necessarily need to. I do anyway. I'm talking a lot because I reached a point where I'm happy and don't necessarily have more to do. So I do have other stuff I want to do, but I think I'm going to stop for today and pick up maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. So please follow if you're interested in catching that. I wish I could like give you a heads up sooner, but I'm not really sure what tomorrow's going to look like. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll be streaming generally around 11 a.m. Eastern whenever I do, 'cause that's my son's nap time, so it's slightly quieter here. And yeah, hope to see you all there. Thanks so much for joining the stream. It's been a lot of fun. It's been frustrating, but I'm happy how it all came together. It's nice talking to you, and hope to see you tomorrow. And thanks so much, and thanks for watching.